Oh, chair dancing 101, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, YouTube? I'm the Scotch girl, also known as Bianca.
And I'm Sniff of ScotchNSniff, and we're here today to talk about a little bit of whiskey education. So this YouTube video was sponsored by Chair Dancing 101. This YouTube video was inspired because I was talking to Bianca before she flew up from Miami, and I was like, what should we do for some topics? We gotta get some ideas. And she was like, hey, let's do like whiskey education. And I was like, well, what do you do when you're looking for new whiskey information? Like, where do you get your education from?
I text Wally and a few other friends.
Yeah, and like texting your friends is one way to get whiskey information, and it's good, but there are definitely other methods. So let's go through those. Let's go through those with you.
Perfect.
All right, so one of the quickest, easiest ways to get information about a whiskey is to grab the bottle.
So this is actually how I started learning about whiskeys. Before I started Googling and before I started reading whiskey books, I just grabbed the bottle and I realized, like, how great is it that so much information of what you want to learn and know about the whiskey is actually printed on the label. So, well, you know, it talks about if it's an age statement, I'll say the age, I'll say what kind of casks. I'll give you a little bit of history about the distillery. I think that's phenomenal about most whiskeys, and it really gives you a good guide of where to start with that.
Yeah, so obviously your palate is always going to be different, but like if you're looking for a good start, if you're looking for some like basic flavors, because I know a lot of people do have difficulties with that. Obviously, if you read the side of this, it tells you stuff about the bottle, and then deep toasting, blah, 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 blah. So delectably complex whiskey with notes of candied fruit, coconut, and delicate vanilla. So these are just guidelines though. So for me, even from this bottle, I don't actually get all that much candied fruit.
Right.
And like it talks about coconut, I get a bit of that, but I get a lot more vanilla than anything else. But every bottle's going to be different. Your palate's different, obviously. But there is a lot to learn on this bottle. In this case, it's an interesting bottle because they tell you about who the new master blenders. They tell you the master blender. They tell you who the new blender is going to be, Kelsey McKechnie, and they tell you just stuff about the Balvenie itself and their method and how they got to making this bottle.
Yeah, which I think is beautiful.
It's kind of important. It's good stuff to learn from. So if you're not going to use resources like, you know, the bottle itself, there's always this magical resource. You can call your friends, or you can actually look up online by going to the distillery's website. Most brands nowadays do have websites where you can learn about whatever bottlings they have. And they do that because they want you to be as informed and educated as possible as a consumer. Mm-hmm. And that's normal. That's what they want for you. So that you can learn, like, do you know how distillation works?
Yes. I forgot.
There you go. So you can always learn this stuff online because a lot of these distilleries all have similar methods to start out. Like the basic method for distillation is the same, but they all have different weird small things that they do that's different from other brands that separates them from other types of whiskeys. Like I think so speaking specifically about a brand, like have you ever heard of Anok?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so they're in Noctu, but they have a 12, 18, and a 24 that are pretty popular. But they have a double fermentation system where they do one fermentation for a period of time.
This is why I text him whenever I want to know about them.
And then they do a second fermentation and a second set of fermentation tanks that they actually ferment for even longer. So it's just cool to see something like that at the distillery, which is a great segue into, have you ever been to Scotland?
I actually have not been to Scotland.
Yet.
Yet.
Like everybody who's a whiskey enthusiast always say yet because you're going to go there.
Exactly. So my goal is to go there next year, hopefully with a nice group of friends. And I hope to learn a lot once I get there. And I know it's going to be an amazing experience. And for me, actually, like one of my biggest things, like, yes, I've learned about like different processes. I have a hard time retaining it. I think it's because I haven't actually like lived it or experienced it and seen it in live. I think it's a lot, it's very different when you witness the process in person. I'm very visual. So I think that to me is one of the best and purest forms of educating and learning about whiskey is go there, go to any distillery and learn it, which is something, it's definitely a goal of mine after I'm done with all these things I have to do this year. So 2020, that's when I'm going to go.
Going to the distillery, super awesome. I didn't believe how much of an impact it had till I did it myself.
Right.
And then like obviously going the second time and taking the Drinking Caveman with me, Charles, seeing him go through the whole experience of getting to, you're right, it's different visually when you know, oh, this is how it works, this is how they do it. But then when you see it and you see a guy, you know, doing everything that's required in the process to do it, or only one or two people working at a distillery, because it doesn't take many. Like Scotland's super efficient. It's crazy to see. So, which brings us to our third way to do educational stuff. It's super organized in my head.
Yeah.
So if you can't go to Scotland, the next best thing is to bring Scotland here.
Yeah,
and so if you guys have local brand ambassadors in your area,
I was going to say that.
Yeah, Miami, DC, New York. If you're in major cities, Chicago, LA, all the major cities. Sorry for everybody in the middle of the country. It's a little difficult sometimes. I know Chicago's covered, and there are brand ambassadors cover Texas too. So wherever lots of people are, they're usually brand ambassadors from a lot of the big name brands because they want other people to learn about their product everywhere.
Right.
So they bring a little bit of Scotland to wherever they are. Usually they'll set up displays and little things, or they'll have trinkets or knickknacks for you to take home to remember things about that distillery and what makes them unique.
I couldn't agree more. That's actually one of the reasons why I became even more passionate about Scotch and whiskey is I saw how enthusiastic and how excited the ambassadors are to share information about their product, but not just about the product, about like the processes, about the history of whiskeys. And I feel like that's another way of like getting a good visual and kind of like tactile like experience, because you're really deep in there. So if there's ever the opportunity of meeting a brand ambassador, going to a tasting, going to a dinner pairing, going to anything, take that opportunity because you'll learn a lot, and go there and ask questions. Definitely, there are no stupid questions. I ask the stupidest questions all the time, what I feel, because I'm next to somebody like Wally who knows so much, and I'm still learning. I just go because I really just enjoy it. But every time you go to these experiences, even though it may seem like the same type of thing that you're learning, it's always different. You learn so much.
Yeah, there's a ton to be learned. And the best part about a lot of those brand-sponsored events, most of them are free.
Yeah.
So not all of them are. There's some that cost a couple of ducats.
Yeah.
But most of them are literally free. You just have to sign up. So you usually have to send an email to info
like,
at
hey,
wherever, or to the brand ambassadors directly.
Right.
So if you guys spend any time on Instagram, go find your local brand ambassadors.
Yeah, become friends with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit them up and let them know, like, hey, I'm also an enthusiast. I want to learn more. I know you're in
They'll
this
love
already.
it. They get excited to meet new people.
Exactly.
Like that.
Ask them your dumb questions. Like, there is no dumb question, but ask them what, if you feel like it's a dumb question, ask it. Because they'll tell you. They can literally, like, and if they can't tell you, they are the resource from the brand that can talk to whoever it is that can tell you the answer. It's so amazing. So those are like 3 great ways to...
So right now, one of the things I'm focusing on a lot is appreciating, which I've always done since for a while. I've just been focusing on appreciating whiskey. So I read a lot of different books. Like I said, I have a terrible memory, like remembering titles and stuff like that. I have like 4 right now in my house. That I just feel like each wine is a little bit different, and how the different levels of how to enjoy, how to appreciate. I'm really right now really focused on pairing it with my food and things like that and how it goes. Yeah. So I'm not, I think that there's different ways of learning about whiskey, not just the processes. There's also like how can I enjoy it, and there's books that are dedicated to that. There's people you can meet like Wally, like other influencers, other enthusiasts. So I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, but
I like embarrassing him.
There are better ways to learn about it than just talking to big nerds. But yeah, I mean, the brand ambassadors are big nerds too, which is really, really nice for a lot of the brands.
Yeah.
But so there's like 3 major ways. Yeah, definitely just drinking whiskey will help. If you drink it intentionally, right, you're going to learn more things about it and really focus and sit down and really try to taste it and really try to experience it. But we've got videos on that, how to taste whiskey and things like that. So yeah.
I want to ask you, how did you learn about whiskey? What got you interested in whiskey?
Funny thing, we just went through all of those in these last 3 topics. That's it. That's all I ever do. Going to events and getting super stoked with a bunch of brand ambassadors.
But do you remember your first time?
Yeah, drinking whiskey, it was horrible. The
first time was horrible.
I didn't like it that much, and I didn't know how to drink it, so I just sipped it full speed and like not like a shot, but I held it for a second just out of
talking about whiskey, right?
Yeah, and then it was not a good time, and I was like, I don't know about this.
Really,
but
you took like a shot? That's funny because
I just kept at it. I mean, I didn't know how long to hold it in my mouth. I figured a second was good.
Yeah.
So it was just like.
It's true. Well, going back to that, I think most people feel. I think you go and approach whiskey for the first time and you think, oh, I'm gonna drink it like a cowboy, like how I saw it in the movies or in college, like shots, So you don't realize there's actually you have to connect with it. It's a mindfulness process in learning how to appreciate it. So my first experience was actually way better than yours, in a sense of how much I enjoyed it. I liked it enough that I stopped drinking that much wine and cocktails. So that was actually a Macallan tasting that I went to that really got me into, wow, let me appreciate what I'm drinking. Let me learn a little bit more about the history, what the story behind what is in front of me.
Because they're trying to get you stoked too, because it means you're going to buy more of their product.
Yeah.
So so that's that's a topic for another day.
Okay.
Getting stoked about the whiskey like that. So yeah, so if you guys have any other resources that you use specifically for learning about whiskey, its process, and the whiskeys themselves, let us know down below. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys already know this is welcome to YouTube, right? We do have Patreon, the tip jar. Thank you, Michael S. You're good. Thanks forever. I think I'll just start saying everybody's names for the people who are like hardcore supporters. And then yeah. So where can people find you on Instagram?
The Scotch Girl.
At the Scotch Girl.
Yes. At the Scotch Girl. It's
She's
simple.
the Scotch Girl.
I'm the Scotch Girl or the?
In case you didn't
Not
know.
a Scotch Girl. I'm the Scotch Girl.
I wonder if there is a Scotch Girl out there then.
I think there might be.
Really?
I think there's at Scotch Girl, which every day I check.
Oh, because you want to take that one instead?
Yeah. Well, no, I want to at least hold it.
Oh, that's legit. All right, so yeah, guys, thank you so much. So thank you, Bianca.
Thank you so much for having me
being a
here.
co-host. Thank you.
I'm excited
Thank
to
you.
be here. Thank you so much. And where are we? Do we have to say the name of where we are?
I mean, we're in DC. We're Virginia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tashi.
This is beautiful. Yes.
As
Thank you so
always.
much, Tashi. Amazing. Thank you.